Welcome back to the Crypto Mocha Pulse, your weekly deep dive into the wild world of digital assets. I'm Gordon with Metaverse and Crypto, and today we're unpacking Bitcoin's tight range, Ethereum's daily macro outlook, Solano's upcoming upgrade, and altcoin movers ready to steal the show. If you're ready to if you're new here and ready to get going, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and stay ahead of every market twist. So let's dive in. And please know this is for informational purposes only. So do your own due diligence and research. So let's look over at a Bitcoin. So here we are. We're on the 4-hour chart. FlexDex portfolio. Just a shout out for them that I do use them and like them. But first up, if Bitcoin on the 4-hour after flirting with 115,000 US dollar mark last week, BTC has settled into a 110 to 120 corridor, tight consolidation phase that has two things: that bulls aren't ready to let it go, and sellers are defending the high ground. So some key points: we have that support at 110,000. It's held firm, and we've been here for in the last 5 days. We've been in a tighter range, about 115 to 118, been a little bit higher than that. The resistance is up there at 120, so volume has been flattening off, suggesting a buildup before a potential breakout. So here's what we are thinking to watch for. A clear break above 120 on high volume could set the stage for a forward run up to 130,000. Conversely, if we slip below that 110 range, we might be spark a drop back to 100K, and trading accordingly. Stay nimble and don't worry about this, but make sure you watch that and set your notifications. So if we go over to look at Ethereum on the daily, so I'll switch over this chart and pop over to the daily, scan this out a little bit wider. But so here we have Ethereum is locked into a daily range between 4450 and this 4600 the last few days. We've popped up above that a little bit, but from a macro standpoint, this quarter will dictate whether we resume a broader uptrend or roll back into a deeper pullback. So if we break in and out of this quarter, that's kind of some scenarios that we want to have. So a daily close above this 400, 4600 will, with an above average volume, could have us a bullish flip. First off, targets above that, look for 4800, 4850 up here where we've gone to more recently. So somewhere in this box here, I didn't draw a box, I just had a line, but that's where we're looking for. And the current hurdles, 5,000, if we is a nice round number. Clearing and holding above 5,000 opens the path up to 5,400 and maybe 6,000 as we move up there. So that's just looking at some of the further things. If we do get above that and we hold that, that's good. Breakdown scenario, what does that look like if we drop below this 4,450 line here? That could be something where immediate support is down at 4,200, way down here. So we might drop back down in there, rising where the rising monthly trends intersects with the where buyers stepped in through July and August. So we have some strong support down there. A secondary floor of 3,900 marks a 61.8% Fibonacci retracement, and that's down lower that we have. So some of the drivers to watch for on the macro side: the Federal Reserve policy has a dovish pivot, could fuel the surge to $5,000, and if they're hawkish, we could unwind this. So Ethereum network upgrades are coming along. Progress on scaling and staking unlocks additional buying interest. This could push it up as well. And risk on sentiment in equities and the DeFi TVL trends. So there's a strong correlation, suggests that broad market health could dictate ETH's next leg up. So if we have the market pushing, it could push everything up as well. So if we look into the altcoin side, so if we're looking for altcoin scenarios that are making waves this week, I'm going to spotlight 4 projects that could jump, up as we move into the next part of the cycle. So if we get into Solano, this is one that I want to talk about. Solano has a mainnet upgrade V1.12 called Apple Glow. It hits test nets supposedly by December 2025 with a full mainnet rollout expected in Q1 2026. What could this mean? The transaction fees for Solana could be set to halve once this is live. That's kind of been the talk on that one. So if you want to, go with that one, Solana could have some updates going forward, which could push the price up as well and reduce the cost of the network as well. So if we're looking at Chainlink, oh geez, I got the wrong page there. So Chainlink, there we go. Chainlink, the oracles are the backbone of DeFi, and Link's participation in the layer 2 ecosystem could be driving more demand as well. So, where's Link been? Its price has been driving down over the last month a little bit, but overall we could actually see that push up. Here was the yearly high over here, so about around $30. So we could see some Links, and so if you look into Chainlink is one of the oracles and driving price into the smaller dexes like this Flex Dex as well. They use Chainlink data and information as well, so they're provided with Chainlink. So that's what they provide as services and resources. So I'm thinking that Chainlink could be one that could move it up. Now, if we're looking at Polkadot, Polkadot's The parachain auctions are heating up, and if your portfolio needs a cross-chain play, DOT may be one that you want to look into with agile core time replacing crowd loans in mid 2025. DOT holders now secure slot leases by bonding directly, and the upcoming late September auctions has already drawn bids in excess of 500,000 DOT, so underscoring a surging demand for these things as well. So DOT may be one you want to look at. It's again this month I've seen some surges back up from 370 all the way up to 475. So it's seen a dollar increase and some good increases over the month. 18 or 15.7% for the month. Then finally, we want to look at Avalanche as well. This one I didn't pull up the chart here, but AVAX, the TVL on this one, if you look at the TVL on something like DeFi Llama, has increased 15% this month, and there's new dApps that are really launching daily. Bitwise's recent Avalanche ETF is filing has catalyzed a 7% price increase that jumped and lifted it, and AVAX futures open interest to 1.45 billion US dollars, signaling increased institutional accumulation. So keep an eye on this one and the smart contracts for entry signals on this one as well. So you might want to look at AVAX as well. Let's see if we can pull it up here quickly. Where are they? So AVAX. Sorry about this. I didn't have this one set up for you here. But on the monthly here, it's already driven up, and see some of this has been in there, and the yearly chart, everything drove up here, earlier in the year, December, January time frame. So it was over $50, and AVAX was one of the ones early on in the cycle that did push up really fast and strong. So anyways, these are the four ones that I'm looking at. Again, do your own research, your due diligence on these ones, check into them. They're just the main coins that you could look at and could provide you with some great returns coming forward. So upcoming events to look for before we wrap up, pencil in, September 22nd, the US CPI report comes out. So high stakes for risk assets. So this maybe cause some market volatility on that. And as well as September 28th, the Ethereum Shanghai upgrade testnet launch. We're looking forward to that one. And on October 3rd, we have an SEC decision on spot Bitcoin ETF applications. Firms like BlackRock, Fidelity, Van Eck, approval for these could unlock tens of billions in fresh institutional inflows and sharper price discovery. A rejection would keep demand funneled into futures-based products and likely prompt renewed application later this year. So that's your pulse check for this week. Which plays are you most bullish on? Please put those BTC breakout, ETH macro move, or an altcoin sleepers. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button, and if you found this helpful, share with somebody else who needs to hear it. Until we come back next week or next time, stay informed, be prepared, and if you're trading out there, happy trading. We got a few extra insights just before we go here. Consider setting your alerts if you are those traders for key levels, for 110, 120,000 for BTC, 4450, 4600 for ETH. Diversify with a small allocation. If you have some DeFi tokens that you're looking for, maybe we'll get into those if you want to get into some DeFi plays that I find interesting and would want to discuss and do some research on. Drop that in the comments below. And also remember, as your trader, keep a journal and keep track of your investments over time. This has been great. Please like and subscribe. This is Gordon for Metaverse and Crypto.